Good evening, my name is Andy Stevens, and this is my personal introduction video for EDL 853. Some background information about myself. I teach in the town where I was born and raised. Fort Collins, Colorado is a town of about 150,000 people. We're about 60 miles north of Denver in the state of Colorado. I went to Colorado State, which is in Fort Collins. And I got my undergraduate degree in business in 2005. After graduating from CSU, I went to work as an account manager in the mortgage industry. And then after being laid off in 2007, I found a job as a technical recruiter. And I found that both of those jobs, while paying the bills, weren't really fulfilling me personally or professionally. So I went back to school and got a master's degree in secondary education and started teaching at Fossil Ridge High School in my hometown in 2009. My current role is at Fossil Ridge, which is a school of about 2,100 students. We have about 200 staff members, including both certified, classified, and administrative employees. I am a business and marketing teacher there. I'm also the varsity boys and girls golf coach, and I currently serve as the department chair as well. Some other information about me. I met my wife Amanda at Colorado State. We have two daughters, Kate, who is 7, and Lily, who is 4. Both of my parents were educators. My paternal grandfather was an elementary school principal. My paternal grandmother taught music, and my maternal grandmother was the director of child nutrition for the district where my parents grew up in eastern Colorado. And then lastly, when I'm not at school or coaching, I still play competitive golf, and my wife and I love to travel. The picture above is our family in Belize over New Year's Eve. So lots of fun. Spending time with them. We were asked to kind of reflect upon some initial thoughts here as we study how do leaders maintain a positive school culture. And I think for me, the most important thing a school leader can do to influence school culture is simply leading by example. One of the readings from this module talks about being able to tell a school's culture within the first 2 minutes of entering the school. And I think that's so important that a school leader is setting the tone for staff and that they are leading by example. What do we do as educators if a positive school culture doesn't exist? I think it's imperative that you challenge not only your colleagues but also your school leaders to look into research, to try to innovate and find new ways to build a better culture. Some of that may be revisiting vision and mission statements, kind of, a renorming of what the school is all about, and really working to come together collaboratively to enhance and better the school culture. Additionally, we were asked to reflect upon student advocacy, and I think student advocacy, at least in my experience, comes from building positive and appropriate relationships with students. I think if students trust you as an educational leader and know that you support them, it's pretty incredible the things that students are capable of doing. Rather, those are students with learning disabilities or students that have been identified as gifted and talented. If they know that you support them and you are an advocate for them, the sky really is the limit. Some other wonderings from this module. I think it's really important that as a school and as a staff, that every student receives fair and equitable treatment. And one of the many reasons I love teaching at Fossil Ridge is I think we do a really good job of creating this equitable treatment within our school culture. Our school principal has a special education background. She was a special education teacher at Fossil Ridge before she became an administrator. And so I know this is one of her, pillars. And she works hard every single day to build an inclusive culture for every single one of the 2,100 students that go to Fossil Ridge. Additionally, I think if there's negative assumptions that a staff has about inclusive culture, again, I think it's up to the school leaders to provide professional development. I think in my 12 years that I've been at Fossil Ridge, our culture has definitely changed over the years. We've had 3 school leaders, 3 different principals in those 12 years. And it's really profound, the direct impact that the school principal has on the culture of the school. And I will say, thankfully, that our current administration, I think, does a wonderful job of building such a great culture. So, I think if there are negative assumptions, you need to have those crucial conversations, as the principal in the YouTube video points out. And I think as a school leader, you need to be willing to challenge staff on those assumptions that they may have, or on the behaviors that they are demonstrating that might be negatively impacting the culture of your school. As always, I'm looking forward to a great semester with everybody, and looking forward to our work together. That's all for me. Have a good evening.